Hey y'all, this is Ryan from Tactical Family Defense. Something happened in the news out in California this past week, a couple days ago now, that is one, very sad and not funny. And unfortunately, I've seen folks laughing about it online and joking and saying things quite inappropriate. An 80-year-old hunter, turkey hunter, accidentally shot and killed another hunter. Shot through a bush, as I understand it, as has been explained. You got to take everything you hear in the news about firearms and guns and hunting with a grain of salt, because they often get everything incorrect. They call guns assault weapons that aren't assault weapons, and they name either everything an AR or an AK or a Glock because that's all they know. So you got to take all this with a grain of salt. But allegedly, supposedly, an 80-year-old man shot and killed a 65-year-old man while turkey hunting. If I had to guess, and I used to guide, I've guided tons and tons and tons of hunters. I've got a pretty good idea of what happened based on experience. I'd be willing to bet 80-year-old guy hears another hunter with a turkey call. If you've never hunted, you usually will have some sort of an artificial call that makes it sound like a turkey to draw gobblers in, and then you shoot them that way, or have a decoy set up or something along those lines. Be willing to bet 80-year-old guy hears what he thinks is a turkey through the bush, shoots, kills the guy who had a turkey call either in his men. They make them, you can turkey calls you can use in your mouth. They make box calls, which is what I learned on when I was a kid. There's a lot of different varieties of that. But in any case, a person lost their life. Person died. 65-year-old man shot and killed. 80-year-old guy has been charged with, as I understand it, second-degree murder and a couple other things probably. Who knows how it's going to shake out? It's California. This is super sad. 80-year-old man. Think of that happening at any point in your life. At any point. 18, or 80. But at 80, most of your life is in the rearview mirror. You're not going to have a lot of time left to process this, recover from it, all of that. I mean, it's quite likely he could die of natural causes in the next, just from the stress from this. Add to that, there was a victim. That victim had a family, most likely. Most likely somebody is going to miss that person. So the funny jokes and all that kind of business about the old guy and all that, not funny, not cool. This violated a major safety rule, and we only preach about 4 when you come train with me. Know your target and what's behind it. Like, know what your target is. I've heard of people making what they call sound shots, or hearing. They think they hear something and they just raise up and shoot. That's how you kill things that you're not supposed to kill. You know, like if you're lucky, it's the farmer's cow. If you're not lucky, it's the farmer. So know your target and what's beyond it. We talk about this in class. Would there be times where you would have to shoot something in a self-defense where you might not know 100% of what's behind somebody? Probably. But we cover that in class. So that's where training comes in and experience. And unfortunately, 80-year-old guy should have known this at his age. Therein lies the problem when I hear someone tell me they don't need training because they've been a hunter their whole life. Congratulations. You still don't know what you're doing when it comes to dealing with a handgun, or self-defense, or being in a fight, or getting out of a situation, or what to do afterwards. Or my dad taught me how to hunt and he taught me how to shoot, so I don't need training. My dad taught me how to hunt too and taught me how to shoot, and I took training and had to unlearn everything that I was taught by my dad. Very few people that will ever watch this video hunted in their life as much as I did by the time I was probably 12 years old. That's not an exaggeration. That's not a brag. Be glad to discuss that with anyone. And I still had to unlearn some bad habits when it came to carrying a handgun, dealing with all of that. So when I hear people say I don't need training because I'm a hunter, or I was a X something, or my dad was this, or my person was that, or whatever, doesn't mean anything. Does not mean a thing. 80-year-old hunter, a lifetime, I'm assuming, of hunting, should have known to know what his target was and what was behind it. This is Ryan for Tactical Family Defense. We'll be training most weekends coming up in the spring until it gets too hot in the summer and unfun. I have a couple of private classes coming up, but you're welcome to ping me on that. Best way to get in touch with me is tacticalfamilydefense@gmail.com. Also hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, and going to be no longer on TikTok. So thank y'all.